Hello, peeps and hello, peppers, and welcome to Film Friday. Hello, stranger. It's great to have you here. On Fridays, I usually try to retell a film with tarot cards, and today I decided to go for Back to the Future because most people know that film trilogy, but I'm only going for part one for the moment. If this suddenly takes off, dun dun, with like a GMC DeLorean, then I shall also do part 2 and 3. Yeah, because like if I retell any films like totally without context, this might sound boring, but yeah, a film that everyone knows with my Phantom Vice tarot that like I personally call the old film tarot, and I didn't design it, but it's like a big inspiration for me. And premiering the Crow tarot from the unboxing video the other day. Yeah, okay, this almost sounds like looks like Doc Brown and his clocks already. Like this film actually like made me also discover like 80s rock music, and I like this beginning. Okay, you can't see it with the poor focus here. I'm still figuring out this phone. I got it relatively new. Focus, please. Yeah, many people tell me to focus, please, and it's never gonna happen. But anyway, here is like a figurine, sort of like a watchmaker, and they are trying to repair like watches that are dangling from the wall and from the ceiling, and that are actually the pentacles. And I'm still figuring out how to get this into focus. I'm sorry. It's kind of a trademark that my videos are improvised. This is the Eight of Pentacles. Actually, the Eight also occurs in a film by the same scripter called Interstate 60. The scripter is called Bob Gale, and he made this film together with Bob Zemeckis. And I saw a like documentary many moons ago how here Bob and Bob took post-its and created the story like just by combining ideas of the type Marty McFly likes riding a skateboard. And okay, one of my favorite scenes is already the beginning when Doc Brown has a zillion of clocks in a total chaos in his workshop. Because, like, as a child, one of my first autistic obsessions was clocks. Pentacles, I mostly associate with some type of, like, wealth, and that can also be mental wealth. Like, let's say, Doc Brown doesn't have so many friends, or so it seems, but Marty McFly is his friend and his supporter for his richness of ideas. Here we have can't see this through the camera, but I hope people also enjoy listening, or so they have sometimes told me. This is also something with pentacles. It's the Nine of Pentacles. It's a wolf. The wolf is turning green, so maybe he has algae in his coat. I don't know. Okay, the sloppiness here is part of the artwork. When you can't see, and there are like really like psychedelic water lilies. So yes, let's use this as a prompt to think about like this looks a little bit futuristic. Doc Brown in the story is really ahead of his time. And a butterfly in classical tarot, so I hear often, is like a sign of transformation. And there are like blossoms. So yeah, there are always ideas blossoming in the story. Doc Brown has a lot of ideas, maybe more ideas than friends. Oh, focus has returned. So here is the Eight of Pentacles, and here is the Nine of Pentacles. So and now the focus is disappearing again. Where am I going wrong? Maybe I am like Doc Brown. Need a lot of trial and error to make things happen. And Doc Brown always tells the story how he used many years of his life and the entire inheritance of his family to build the time machine. He often talks about a space-time continuum, so this is space and time. And maybe the king, I would also say this is like owning space and time all of a sudden, because he built a machinery where he can control which part of history he wants to see. And like Marty, his young friend, is of course a sort of not lucky hobby musician. So he needs to own his character as well. The Five of Swords. So swords are always the air element, I would say, fighting and air. Okay, this looks like a battlefield and a sea, and talking about the deciding which eras of history one wants to see, like a historical costume, sort of like, I don't know, maybe medieval, or Napoleonic. Anyway, someone in an empty battlefield. Let's say, of course, the world political situation worries me. I'm not gonna lie, but something like Back to the Future gives me hope, because it is about like two nerds, everyone in their special sphere, winning over bad forces. Here we have also like pentacles, something winning, something like a tree blossoming in a unusual fashion. There is not so much talk about trees in the movie, but it could be that like in the dystopian part of the like the alternate timeline, Marty has to climb a tree, but I don't remember that properly. I sometimes say I have photographic memory, but that's not totally proper. Anyway, they climbed the roof of the school in order to escape. That is also a thing. And yes, maybe that is a good time to mention that according to the documentary that I watched, Back to the Future was supposed to be a standalone, but it ended up a trilogy, 1, 2, 3, because it was so popular. And of course, that had its challenges, because the rest of the trilogy came 5-ish years after the initial one, when the like life situation of the actors had already changed a little bit, and the props had needed to be rounded up if you wanted to make the scene look exactly the same. And okay, maybe there I'm seeing things a little bit too schematic, but I didn't notice actually that these film sets were reconstructed. I thought in the beginning that was kind of everything filmed in one set of filming days. I don't know how to say that, maybe. Okay, here is the High Priestess. And she could look a little bit like, let's say, Lorraine when she has her hair up. She is a little bit, let's say, high above George in the beginning, like when he says that stuff like "you're my density" when he means the destiny. She also has always books in her hand in the high school, and okay, she also has a fortune-telling crystal ball. I mean, the figurine has the fortune-telling crystal ball. I wouldn't say that here. Lorraine has a fortune-telling crystal ball, but she a little bit only sees what she wants to see because, of course, she's hitting on the so-called Calvin Klein, Marty McFly, while he actually tries to bring her like together with George because George has a lot of talents that he just doesn't show yet. Okay, here is the Six of Pentacles, as in a maid throwing a bone. We had that in another film context. Okay, there are yes, there are dogs. There are like Einstein and Copernicus. Doc Brown has like consecutive dogs. Named after scientists, of course. So I could hear like through the window, like just tell the aspect that the whole trilogy is about finding another window. Okay, here goes my plan out the window to only talk about the first part, but ADHD. So in the documentary, or in a documentary about Back to the Future, it was said that it was revolutionary to have like the two nerds, Emmett Brown and Clara Clayton, get together and also form their relationship around nerding, which I see a lot in the ace community today, and which is actually also a theme that I want to communicate on a longer term, because I, as a like a nerdy person, borderline asexual person, I never had good role models, and that in this context told me that I am not okay. Page of Wands is like Wands is fire. I had some sort of fire inside myself, and okay, here is a like a tapestry of stuff, a lot of thoughts inside boxes that I had as a teenager, and I was crying. Maybe the other people were calling out to me. We don't know that. I didn't feel good as a teenager, but the film made me feel good. So maybe we can keep that as a closing word, that the like films can save people's mental health. And that said, I am not necessarily agreeing with Crispin Glover, like the guy who played George McFly in the first part. Like, he didn't want to play in the sequels because he said the film sent out a message that, like, only money and richness makes you happy. But as pointed out, then we can close the circle, richness can be so much. And I actually appreciate George McFly as a character who learns to do something for himself, learns to do sports with a partner on eye level rather than sitting at home drinking, or thinking that nobody likes my short stories. And like, okay, talking about short stories, now I am going back to writing my short novel that is also in some way inspired by Back to the Future, very distantly. Bye bye.